It's time for another update on my Trump prediction, which started a month before he won the election in 2016. He's been president for roughly 2.5 years now, and so far everything has been going generally as I expected. Probably the biggest thing to have occurred since my last update is the release of the Mueller report. But there's also the national emergency to build the wall, the summit with North Korea, the situation in Venezuela, the Golan Heights, and of course now, Iran. I smell some serious false flag stuff going on with Iran and Venezuela, but that's all I'll say for now on that. I'll also point out that the one thing that I thought might get accomplished hasn't even started. I thought if there was one thing this divided government could agree on, it would be infrastructure. But of course not. Why? Demoncrats. That's what this video is going to be about. The Demoncrats. Just televised 2 nights of debates for their 2020 candidates, and I suffered through them both to confirm my suspicions that nobody is going to come even close to defeating Trump in 2020. I predicted Trump would win in 2016 with a landslide. I got criticized for it because it supposedly wasn't a landslide. I still think it was a landslide if you could factor out all of the Demoncrat voter fraud that they attempted. The funny thing is that even though they tried to steal the election through massive voter fraud, they still lost. That is why I believe it was a massive popular landslide on top of the Electoral College landslide. I will make the prediction now. Trump will win again in 2020 with an even bigger landslide. Hopefully Trump can make sure the Democrats can't get away with so much voter fraud this time, so the results will be more realistic. So this video is generally called, "What's Wrong with the Demoncrats?" That isn't a question, by the way. It's a statement. By going through the issues discussed during the Demoncrats debates, I will explain biblically why the Demoncrats are so far off from God and true righteousness. I'll start with their name. You'll notice that I'm mocking their name by calling them Demoncrats. That's because they're so filled with devils, or demons, same thing, that just about every belief they have is against the Bible. They don't know it, but they're generally all filled with legion. We'll go down their list of demons as we go through each issue. But first, I'll start with the concept of democracy. They all keep saying, "our democracy." They are so in love with the idea of mankind voting on the most popular opinion of how we should rule ourselves. Everybody put in their vote, and whoever gets the most votes gets their way. Sounds fair, right? Well, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's very dangerous. The best explanation I've ever heard of what's wrong with democracy is this: 2 wolves and 1 sheep voting for what's for dinner. How about if all the kids and teachers in school got to vote on what should be done during the school day? I've got an idea. Let's all vote on what the speed limit should be on the freeway. I vote for 100 miles an hour. Then I'll never get a speeding ticket because I never go that fast. The United States of America is not a democracy and never was. It's a constitutional republic. Understanding the difference between the two is important. It's not always a wise decision to let the majority opinion rule. Sometimes the majority opinion is wrong. And to make that point biblical, the majority of humanity chooses to sin instead of obedience to God. If life was a democracy, humanity would vote God out of office. And that is ultimately what the Demoncrats are trying to do. The high majority of Bible believers are conservative, or on the right, or Republican, or whatever you want to label them as. But you will not find a lot of Demoncrats who claim to believe the Bible. I'd bet that every atheist is also a Demoncrat. Or at least they're not a Republican. I was a Demoncrat when I was an atheist. Don't get me wrong, there are some Demoncrats who claim to be Christian, but they're always very liberal and don't really believe the Bible in its most literal sense. You won't find a Demoncrat Christian who also believes in young earth creationism, who's anti-abortion, who's anti-homosexuality, and truly believes in all the miracles of Christ. All they'll do is preach love and twist that into accepting all faiths and all sexual persuasions and all illegal aliens into our country. They don't believe in repenting of sin. They believe in tolerance. Unless, of course, you're a fundamentalist. They can't tolerate that. Having said all that, the Republicans aren't perfect. Neither are libertarians or any other party. My preferred political party is the monarchist party, with Jesus Christ as its king. When Jesus comes back and sets up his government here on earth for 1,000 years, that will be a perfect government. So let's go through some of the topics mentioned during their debates. I'll start with the one thing that I thought was good, which was said by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. They both spoke out against corporate lobbying and greed and the corruption of Wall Street. This is about the only thing they're right about. But their proposed solutions are ridiculous. This is what leads to their calls for socialist ideas. It's a Robin Hood policy of stealing from the rich to give to the poor. It's communism. Everybody pools everything they have and evenly distributes it. In a perfect world, it sounds like a great idea. But the problem with it is that we're not in a perfect world. The people who are put in charge of collecting and distributing everything will hoard stuff and accept bribes and play favorites and do all sorts of other corrupt things. How do I know? By looking at every other socialist country on the planet, and by understanding the corrupt nature of humanity. The only way communism will ever work will be under Jesus Christ during the millennium. The book of Acts teaches that the early disciples considered all things common among themselves. I'll also add here that I found it funny when Warren contradicted herself when she was told by the debate moderator that 60% of Demoncrats agreed that the economy was great right now. But then she said it was only good for the top elite. That makes no sense. Maybe those 60% are the top elite? I don't think so. The problem with today's Democrat socialism is that they want to make everything free, but it's not free. Bernie Sanders admitted that taxes will go up on the middle class to pay for all this free stuff. That makes it not free. You know what, Bernie? If I want it, I'll pay for it. Don't force me to pay for it just to give it to somebody else who doesn't want to work for their own. This gets me into the healthcare issue. Sanders says that government healthcare is a human right. Really? Says who? God doesn't say that. When people depend on healthcare, they end up not taking care of themselves. You eat garbage food with no vitamins and minerals in it, drink tons of high fructose corn syrup and aspartame, never exercise, and then you wonder why you get sick. Now I'm supposed to help you pay for your pharmaceuticals with my tax dollars? This is what happens when people believe in Darwinism instead of creation. They think health problems should be treated by pills instead of proper nutrition and exercise. No wonder they want free pre-K. They want to start indoctrinating our kids with their Darwinist lies as early as possible. Next, let's talk about gun laws. I don't belong to the NRA. I don't believe in killing someone to save my own life. I'm saved. I'm ready to die if God allows someone to kill me. I trust He will keep any potential murderers away from me by his providence. But if some lost fool decides to kill me, I'm not going to send them to hell by killing them first just to save my life in this body that's dying anyway. Let them kill me. Then they'll have time in prison to repent of what they've done and hopefully get saved. But having said that, the Demoncrat position on gun laws is just insane. The problem is the criminal, not the gun. A gun law isn't going to stop a criminal from getting a gun. It's going to stop a good guy from getting a gun. Demoncrats just don't have enough wisdom to figure this out. If a criminal is willing to break the law and murder someone, they're not going to have a problem breaking another law to get a gun on the black market. On my last Trump video, I left a link in the description section to a documentary called The Great Global Warming Swindle. It explains how the problem is not actually caused by humans. There's really nothing that can be done about it. All the Demoncrat claims that all scientists believe it are totally untrue. A lot of the people on their list of scientists don't know how they got on the list and don't actually want to be on the list. When I was a kid, they were warning about global cooling. All of a sudden, it changed to warming. It's a huge scam by people like Al Gore. They're in it for the money. They want to tax people for exhaling carbon dioxide. They have no intentions of saving the planet. They just want your money. Jesus is returning very soon anyway. This planet is temporary. You don't polish the brass on a sinking ship. You don't prune a dead tree. The only global warming you should be worried about is Revelation 16. Make sure you're not here for it. Okay, now for possibly the most offensive part of this video. I've never had YouTube give me any problems yet with censorship, but maybe this will finally get their attention, not that I want it. The Demoncrats are well known for their stance on abortion and gay rights. These two issues are probably the biggest issues in the minds of Bible believers. The Demoncrats are pushing further and further towards the left regarding when a woman can have an abortion. Remember the governor of Virginia saying they would deliver a baby and then the mother and her doctor can then discuss whether to let it live or not. That's insane. Oh, but I'm supposedly guilty of hate speech for speaking out against it, right? The Bible clearly says in the Old Testament and the New Testament that homosexuality is considered a sin according to God, and that those who practice it will not inherit the kingdom of God, according to Galatians 5. But out of 20 Demoncrat candidates, the only two who mentioned their Christian faith was Pete Buttigieg, an openly gay man, and Cory Booker, who bashed people who mentioned prayer and instead called for human action instead of prayer by misappropriating the verse that says, faith without works is dead. That's not what the verse was talking about, Cory. Faith without prayer is fake. The Demoncrats also show their total hypocrisy when they call for Trump to be impeached, yet they have absolutely nothing to say about what Hillary Clinton did. She hides a private server, deletes 33,000 emails, destroys hard drives and cell phones, claims she didn't know files marked CON were confidential, but she's not guilty of obstruction of justice. Trump let the Mueller investigation drag on for over 2 years, and they found nothing. But the Democrats still claim he's guilty of obstruction, but Hillary's not? It amazes me how the demons inside these poor people make them so blind. Lastly, the situation at the Mexican border is still raging. You know why Democrats want open borders? Because they want more Democratic voters. Simple as that. Obama deported lots of illegals. The Democrats, like Schumer, all voted for a wall back during the Obama administration. The only reason they changed their minds is because they want to resist Trump. They pretend to care about illegal kids, but they do nothing to help American kids. They claim Trump is locking them up in cages, but the video they used was from the Obama administration. They want to give illegals a speedy path to citizenship, but they do nothing to speed up the citizenship of the immigrants who are doing it the legal way. So what is wrong with Demoncrats? Brain damage caused by legions of demons.